Buying and selling online has surged during the pandemic, and it's something more people are becoming interested in. Joining us now is Rob Cowley, president of Cowley Abbott Auctions in Toronto. Good morning to you, Rob.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. So we're talking about buying online art online. And so that's something that's really taken off during the pandemic. Tell us how it's been going for you with sales and purchases online during the pandemic.
It's been going very well. Certainly not what we expected when the pandemic began 14 months ago. But we have found that our sales have been tremendous. Collectors have been more engaged than ever, of course, many of them being at home more than ever, and having less distractions in their lives as well. And so we've been fortunate in a way in that we've been kind of an escape from everything that's been going on the last year. But we've been having monthly online sales for the last 14 months, as well as we had 2 major auctions and 1 coming up. And they've all performed extremely well. And in fact, most of the sales that we've held have actually exceeded the same performance of the same sale from 2019. And so we find that online interest in art, online bidding and buying, we haven't witnessed this kind of strength in many years.
And you've got some Canadian masterpieces. You're surrounded by them. Lauren Harris, one of the group of 7. Let's talk about some of the artwork and how are you able to appraise artwork online? So you're not actually right in front of it as you are there, but you can do so online. But let's talk about what you have there, the Lauren Harris.
Well, the Lauren Harris, so this is a pencil drawing. And so Lauren Harris, of course, is probably one of the most famous members of the group of 7. His paintings have sold in excess of $10 million at auction. And so this is a pencil drawing. And so medium is very important when we're appraising an artwork. So an oil painting will be it can be worth a fair sum of money, usually 6 figures and beyond by Harris, whereas a pencil drawings and graphite drawings tend to be less. And so this drawing is actually estimated at between $6,000 and $8,000. It's an Arctic scene, and the Arctic was a very important trip for Harris. He went a few times, and it changed his work, and some of his most celebrated work, in fact, is from the Arctic. And what's special about this painting as well is part of the provenance. So part of the history is the fact that it was once owned by his son, Lauren Harris Jr. And so this painting is being offered at between $6,000 and $8,000. And in fact, we sold another pencil drawing by Harris just a few years ago that was the study for a major painting, and that sold for about $161,000, which is a record for any drawing by a member of the group of 7. Yeah.
And I'm interested in, I'm interested in all of the artwork there, but the Jack Bush, let's talk about that painting.
Yeah, so Jack Bush, one of Canada's most celebrated abstract painters, known as a color field painter. What's very special about this painting, it's the first time it's ever been offered at auction, and it was painted in circa 1958. And what's very special about this painting is that it was a gift from Jack Bush to a fellow artist, William Ronald, another highly celebrated abstract painter from Canada. And so in 1958, Bush met with Ronald and gave this to him, showing him how his work had been progressing at that time. William Ronald, another highly celebrated painter, we have works by him in this sale as well. He gave away most works that were given to him by other artists. He gave them away as gifts. This painting he held onto for his entire life, and it actually comes directly from the estate of William Ronald. So again, provenance plays a huge role. This painting is valued at $15,000 to $20,000. But when a painting has such a personal history, and again, directly between 2 artists who are also friends, that can also add to the allure for collectors.
And looking at the Ivan Eyre work.
Yes, Ivan Eyre. So right here, one of Canada's, and all of these works, I should say, are offered in our June 9th auction of important Canadian art. You can find everything at cowleyabbott.ca. We'll be streaming the auction, so you can bid online or by telephone or by absentee. Ivan Eyre is one of Canada's most popular post-World War II landscape painters. His paintings often exceed expectation when they do appear at auction. We don't see them as often as some other painters. The value on this painting is between $80,000 and $120,000. And in fact, this painting was once part of the artist's collection. So again, provenance plays a big role in terms of value. It's never been at auction before, and it once hung in the artist's collection. So again, adding some value for collectors as well. So we expect this painting to be very popular. It's also featured on the cover of the catalog this season.
And Impressionist Robert Pilot.
So Robert Pilot, he was actually born in St. John's. So he was actually born in Newfoundland, And his stepfather was another highly celebrated Impressionist painter, Maurice Cullen, who was also born in Newfoundland, in fact. So we best know Robert Pilot from by painting Impressionist scenes, usually of Quebec, usually Montreal, Quebec City, but this is a rare scene of Ottawa, obviously a very familiar view for any of your viewers. This painting we're offering at between $18,000 and $22,000 in the June 9th auction.
So you know what we're going to do? You're going to stick around with us, right, Rob? Because we've asked our viewers to send in their artwork, and you're going to give a little appraisal of their work so we can get an idea of what their work may be worth that's hanging on the walls. And I think it's going to be a really interesting exercise. And we thank you for sticking around.